what is the one thing missing in all of these European survival kit lists? What is the one thing missing in any list provided by any government institution? What is the one thing that is the most versatile, the most practical, the one thing you want to get started with? Hey, Fernando, typical email that I get, typical message that I get here on YouTube. Hey, Fernando, I'm a 50-year-old woman or whatever age woman, or I'm a guy with no experience with these. Which is it? This is the one. Guys, welcome to a Modern Survivalist channel. And as I was saying, these are things I recommend because I have no bias. I'm not behind any government that has a certain agenda and doesn't want to see its own influence and power and monopoly of the use of certain tools compromised. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place of doing this for many, many years, having written some of the best-selling books in survival and preparedness in English, Spanish, and now in French, by the way, if you want to get these. Yeah, selling very, very well. Thanks for all of the support over the years. This is the one. It's a 22 long rifle carbine. We talk about Glocks, we talk about 9mm, we talk about revolvers. That's all great. But when you look at a survival kit list and it's not including this, you know that it's not a complete list, because this is by far the most versatile, the most affordable, the easiest one to get in any restrictive legislation. Oh, but Fernando, you don't get it. I'm in England. No, you don't understand. I'm in Ireland. I'm in wherever it is. Well, the 22 long rifle carbine is by far the easiest one to get. When it comes to legislations, when it comes to the requirements of what it is asked of you, well, it's going to be shotguns and 22 carbines. These are usually the things that are considered easiest to get no matter where you are. And this is also happens to be the most versatile option in something looking at it from the perspective of survival and preparedness. When it comes to foraging, small game hunting, this is the kind of thing that it is unquestionable that this is the most versatile thing you can have. Some people will say a shotgun. Shotguns are fantastic, and it's true that with different shells you can do a number of things, but not at this price, not at this weight, not at this lack of recoil, right? The amount for a couple shells, 12 gauge shells, for a couple of those you get 50 rounds of 22 long rifle. It is cheap, it is lightweight, and it's super effective. If you don't have anything else to defend yourself, and this is what you have, trust me, this will get the job done. If you do your part, this is something we've seen in a number of research papers, gathering of different incidents, information, thousands of them. You realize that it does not matter if it's 9mm or 22. Honestly, some of the records show that 22 is even better. Why? Because of the kind of situation in which they're being used, the kind of encounter you're looking at. What you learn basically is that it does not matter. It matters more where you group than with what you're shooting, right? That's the main thing. So when it comes to someone that hasn't got experience, you want to have something that is affordable, easy to get, something that has very little recoil. You cannot get any better than this. When it comes to low recoil, this is as low as it gets. And still, each one of these things can do so much for you. From defending yourself, defending your family, protecting yourself if it's needed. This is the kind of thing that you use for foraging, for protecting your crops, right, from animals. This is the kind of thing that an Alaskan guy, an Eskimo, right, some of these people from these very challenging conditions, right, they use this too. You know, those guys in the North Pole will go around with 22s, and they're dealing with freaking polar bears. This is something that, as long as you do your job, it is amazing the capabilities that it has. So I can't recommend it enough. In particular, this one is a Marlin Papoose in stainless steel takedown model, basically a takedown version of the Marlin 6065, one of the most popular, if not the most common 22 carbine ever made. I think in terms of manufacturing, it's around there. Of course, you have Ruger's 1022, and locally, you often have brands maybe made within the country that may be super popular. Go with whatever is more popular where you are. As long as it's reliable, I will want to go with semi-automatic, given that it's not exactly the most powerful round. I like the ability of put in quick follow-up shots. And if I have available higher capacity magazines, even better. These are just 10-round magazines. They're fine. You will be able to protect yourself. You will be able to do a number of things. Now, is this the best option ever for that? No. I would rather have, right, if it comes down to that, yeah, I would rather have this kind of 22, which we all agree, an AR would be, sure. But don't believe for a second that you cannot do that with this. As long as you know what you're doing, and an important part of that is having the knowledge, the training, at the very least the knowledge that I share with you folks in these books, especially with this one. Half the book is about home defense, defense on the streets, when driving, defensive driving, all classes that I've taken myself and things I've done myself over the years. The amount of defensive driving going on in a place like Argentina where you have constant roadblocks and attempts on you, well, yeah, that's the kind of thing that I share with you folks, okay? But when it comes down to one tool that in most countries is available and is tremendously versatile, 22 long rifle carbine, semi-automatic, detachable box magazine. There's no question about that, right? When you look specifically at, but I want to have something to defend myself, and all right, we can look at revolvers, pistols, but this is something that should be in your survival kit list. This is something that is so versatile, so practical for the new person getting involved in this, for the one that has more experience, doesn't matter. It is the one thing you definitely should add to your list and use it. The ammunition is affordable enough as it is. It's cheap enough as it is. You can afford a lot of training and trigger time. That will give you experience, that will make you better, more accurate. You learn your system better. And all of that is maybe all you need, right? This is the kind of thing you definitely should add to your preparedness list. And for the people that in the comments have said before, I'm a cop from Hungary, and I don't care if you're the fucking president of Hungary. If you believe for a second that you cannot have this in any European country, you're simply wrong. That's the only answer there is. But it's difficult and it requires paperwork and I actually have to pay for it. Yes, you clown. You have to pay for things in this planet. And yes, if it's a firearm, there's a good chance you will have to get some license, some permit, register. Something will be asked of you. At the very least, a background check. If you don't know that, I don't know what else to tell you. So you will have to pay for it. You will have to get the paperwork done. That does not mean that it's illegal. That means you have to do the basic minimal requirements depending on your country to get it. But it's the same thing for buying a car, right? You buy a car, what? You get them for free? No, you have to pay for them and you have to register them as well, right? So that's not an argument. It does not mean it's banned or it's not allowed where you are. It just means that you have to do something to get it, right? Any adult with any common sense would understand that. But there's nothing as easy to get as a 22 long rifle carbine, and it is by far the most versatile tool you can have in your survival kit. All right? See you later, folks. Take care. Have a great day.